Hello and welcome back to Shakhtar Glory, episode 47. I feel like I'm really playing these games sort of really in a short space of time, which I suppose is the ideal situation. Keeps all the stuff fresh in my mind. But we're back today with Inter Milan at home in I think it's the fifth game. So, a key part of this group now. Obviously, last time out we had that fantastic win against Atletico Madrid. We also obviously lost the first game away, but we then rallied round and we won 4-2 in the home game, really putting ourselves, back in contention for this progression out of the group. But today against Inter Milan, it's a must-win game. They are sort of topping that group. I mean, if we don't get a result here, we're praying for Fenerbahce to do something against Atletico Madrid. And the way it's looking, they're probably not going to be able to do that. So we need to keep it in our own hands, make sure we win the game. A draw probably isn't good enough either. At home, we really need to be pushing on and getting the win. So, let's see how we've done. So since that last game, that 4-2 win, we've played Shakhtar Donetsk in the league, convincing 5-0 win. Romero got 4 of them, but other than that, not a great deal to talk about really. It was a convincing win. They had 10 shots, none on target. Sort of sums up the day really. I think they're in 9th or 10th position. It showed. We are far and away better than Shakhtar Donetsk at this stage. It's a standard win. And then we followed that up with a 3-0 win against Desna in the Kubok Ukraini, the Ukrainian Cup, I guess that stands for. We did go down to 10 men, but that was on the 88th minute, so it really wasn't a factor in the game. Paulinho got a hat-trick in that game. He is now, I don't know if we mentioned it before, I just happened to notice it the other day, he is a wonder kid. Haven't really been playing that much. He's capped for Brazil already. He's played a few. He's got a good few number of goals this season, but he's mostly played sort of league games, cup games. Featured a little bit in the Champions League, but not much. Primarily because he's not playing up front. He's playing in the wing role, and I think we've got slightly better options out there. He's not completely suited to it. He can do it, but it's not really where we want him to be playing. We need him to progress in the striker position, which he does in the league, where we play those 3 strikers. As you can see in the Cup and semi-final, it's not until April. We're only in November now, so quite a big gap as we've seen before in this weird season. We've got Kopati at home. Obviously there's a lot can change in that time, but they are sort of down the lower reaches of the table. Zoya are regrouping. They're only 1 point off that sort of out of the safety point zone now. 1 point can take them as far as 6th, so it's a ridiculous bottom part of that group. We are 8 points still clear of Shakhtar. They've kept up winning as we have. We haven't dropped any points since the last time we mentioned it. They haven't either. So it's still close enough that they're a concern, but we're playing well enough now, it seems, that they're not really going to trouble us too much. After the Inter game, we've got Fenerbahce, like we mentioned. There are a couple of league games in there, but again, I think we will probably skip over those and go straight to Fenerbahce. After that point, we may break it up a little bit because, saying that now, there's the winter break. There's one game, there's the winter break, 14th December. We come back in February, and around that time the Champions League restarts again anyway. So we'll probably will have a complete, apart from that first Kiev game we played, I think early in the start of the season. Where was it? Up here, where we won 4-0. Apart from that one, we haven't shown any domestic stuff this year, and obviously the Charity Shield, Community Shield, whatever you want to call it. I think we're going to get into the Champions League game now. The home game gets Inter Milan, and we'll cut across to that now. Not too much to talk about in terms of the lineups. We've gone with a very familiar sort of system really. We've got Romero up front. He's come back in. He's got those 4 goals. He's come back from his injury just on fire, and he probably is the best, most informed striker that we have. He's very agile, quick, and mobile. I think he can do a job against Inter Milan. He didn't in the first game, but we weren't quite the same, playing at quite the same standard as we are now. We've got Rodrigo on that inside forward position, Boratke out on the right. Malinovsky has come into the centre with Fred. We've dropped Manuel Fernandez. He seemed to be getting picked in the DM role, but I want Malashev there. He's the better option. So Mateus Fernandes makes way. Malinovsky has been playing quite well in the last couple of league games, so we thought we'd give him a go. In the back 4, Butko is sort of kind of been gazumped really by Lukačević. Again, he's been putting on some really good performances for us, and not so much in the Champions League. He's only played that one game, which I think was the Inter game. There was suspension, but you know, in the cup and the league, he's putting in some good performances, and I've noticed a couple of errors from Butko. I'm not, like I said at the start of the season when we did the transfers and stuff, I do still see the right back as probably the weakest position in this team, and I'd still stand by that. Lukačević is making strides at improving that, but not quite there. I'd like to get a Brazilian right back in there and just have a bit like Roberto Carlos and Cafu kind of flavour, the great Brazilian fullbacks, certainly of my grown-up generation. So we'll jump into the game. João Mario, he obviously was only suspended for that one game. We mentioned it a couple of episodes ago. Got Nasri on the bench. Korchia. Radu's there as well. Icardi is, well, he's playing phenomenally at the moment. In the league, not so much. How are Inter doing at the moment? They're third. Managed by Spalletti. Famous sort of had a couple of spells with Roma. I think he won the league with Roma. I may be wrong on that. I think it was when Batistuta was back there, and great Roma team that was. But Inter Milan, they're third, sort of drifting away a little bit. Just had Napoli, who probably struggling as well a little bit. They're in the Champions League this year. They got to the semis, I think, last year as well, the Champions League. So a bit of a strange one, but we're going to jump in. We'll let the assistant do it. He's done okay, so we'll let him do that as well. And we're kicking off right to left here in our orange kit, as expected. I'm not going to mention it anymore after this, hopefully, but we'll see. It could have been a very different kit we were playing in. Maybe not so much at home in this home leg, because we probably would have still rocked the orangey gold kind of kit that I'd created as the home kit. But I was just hoping desperately to see that Fiorentina style kit in the game. We get a chance here. Romero's on the ball. Rodrigo out to Leo. Romero's in there and he puts it away. That's what he's backing the team for. That's what he's doing. We can see on the group stage there on the right hand side. That should pop us up to probably second. I think first as it stands. I think it'd be first as it stands, and that's a great finish, great header. Coutinho's giving Liverpool the lead. Not going to see that again for a while, I would imagine, if ever. But he's still there on the game. We're about 3 years in now, so yeah, I think that'll do. That kind of sums up where we stand. You know, doing well, but I think there's space for a bit more. We do need to probably get that second goal just to give us a bit more comfort in the game. They've had 2 shots, none on target. Again, I mentioned it in similar games I was editing the other day. One of the games the opponent started like that. I think it was Atletico Madrid, and yeah, they started that way, and it was never going to carry on that way. And need to say they scored a couple of goals, but we're still playing well, and the game has kind of just flown by. We got to the 70th minute in the second half now, and not a lot has happened in this second half at all. We do have the ball here. Can we create something? Hopefully not. That's a great ball, and Leo's on the left hand side. Goes back out to Rodrigo, not quite, and Leo is now desperately out of position. We should have cover here, but Talisca. And it turns out that lead that we had against Inter wasn't enough to put us in the top 2 spots, and that, unless the league isn't updating very well, I'm not sure what's going on there, because we're still on 9 points. It's not differential. I'm sure we're on. No, it's going to drop us back to 7, isn't it? I think 2 wins and a draw. I think that's where we're standing at the moment. But a draw isn't really good enough. So I think what we're going to do, kind of left this a little bit late, but we are going to drop Malyshev out the game. We're going to bring Oya in. He's going to go as a attacking advanced playmaker on support. Romero's having a good game, but he's possibly tiring a little bit. Boakye is not doing much. We're going to bring Boyachuk out there. Anyone else we can think about? Vizeo maybe is a shout in this situation. Romero's got his goal, hasn't really done much else. So we'll do the triple threat. See if we can get something out of it. We do have a highlight here. Oya to Lukačević, gets Oya free, and Rodrigo, he is there, and we are straight back in the lead. Rodrigo with the goal, and you can't say we don't deserve it. They've had 2 shots, they've scored one of them. 2 shots on target, I mean, obviously. They've had 7 shots. Not great. We're not much better than that, but we've got 61% possession as well. And we are doing quite a lot with it. But Rodrigo, great run at the back post, just ghosts in there, and the right back doesn't know what he's doing. I think it's Juan Fran, I've just noticed there. That's a great tackle as well. But Leo is more of a defensive kind of left back. I mentioned Roberto Carlos and Cafu. He's not that, and Oya gets one as well. But yeah, Leo isn't that kind of left back. But he bombed forward then and just got caught horrifically out of position. And I think that's what led to it did lead to their goal. But a great ball there. Boyachuk involved. All three subs. Vizeu tackled. Anoya just slots it away. And a 3-1 lead now. That isn't enough to sort of push us up the table. I don't know if Fenerbahce and Atletico Madrid have played already. I'm assuming they have, and I'm assuming Atletico Madrid have won the game. And Icardi's through. Oh, they get one back. Icardi again. He just scores against us all the time. But that's 3-2 now. But 91 minutes, I'm not even watching that. That was a disgraceful defending and everything else. But can we just see this game out now? We're still on attacking, which could be an error. Oh, don't do it. Clear it. That's it. We've had enough late goals and late drama in this Champions League group to not have to go through it again. But a good win, 3-2. A fantastic win considering how we played in that first game against them. I thought they might have a bit much. But looking at how they're doing in Serie A, they're not. They're good, but they're not. They probably didn't justify. We shouldn't have let them play the way they did in that first game. We let them do that to us a little bit. I think we didn't turn up. It wasn't so much that they were so great. We didn't turn up. And Atletico Madrid did indeed win. Griezmann and Costa with the goals. Griezmann's obviously back from his injury. Havertz sent off young German. He played against us. He looked pretty decent. So let's see how that leaves the group. We'll just pop into schedule. It's just probably the easiest way of getting there. Probably isn't actually, but it's the way I've chosen to go. So after 5 games played, look how tight that is. But we have got, as long as we beat Fenerbahce, we are through. Because Inter or Atletico are playing each other. And one of those has got to win or lose. Or if they draw, if we win our game and they draw, we get 12, we go through top. If one wins, they go through top and the other one drops away. But it's all as long as we go to Turkey and do what we've got to do. Am I confident in that? Yes, I am. As you can see there, Icardi, top scorer. Higuain not far behind. And don't know who this guy is. Any good? I mean, he's only at Basel, so he could be someone we could potentially try and get in. We'll have a look at him. The ideal scenario is we win our game in Turkey and they just play out a draw. Because we can go through top. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the quick look at the schedule where we're coming back for. I think we sort of touched upon it a little bit before. We're going to skip the Desna game, Vorskla, possibly Kiev. We'll come back for Fenerbahce away on the 11th of December, so a couple of weeks away. And we'll learn our fate if we're going to be in the Europa League or Champions League next round. I think, like I said, I think we're pretty sure we're going to be guaranteed a spot as long as we do our job. So it's not guaranteed, but it's in our hands, which is all you can ask for when you go into the last game, is it to be in your hands, really. Before I go as well, if you're enjoying the content, enjoying what I'm doing with this Shakhtar save, have any sort of feedback at all, drop me a like on the video, drop a sub to my channel just so you can keep up to date with all future videos. And yeah, and for the feedback, drop me a comment. Like I said before, I reply to them all. I look at them all, I read them all. So yeah, drop me a comment, and whether it's just to say well done on the result, or you're doing this wrong, or maybe you should think about doing this, and anything. So just drop me a message. So yeah, until that Fenerbahce game, I will see you later. Take care.